Hey guys, it's been quite a week, right? Lots of uncertainty in the world, and I've been sidelined for a lot of it, right? Because I don't like being around the geopolitical uncertainty. I think that there's a lot of stressors, obviously, right now that can shake the market pretty hard. And it's best a lot of times to just sort of sit on your hands and wait to see how things settle in, how they start playing out, watch for the days to start trending, and once they start trending, you can get back into action. So today was a trend day. So we had a nice move in the triple Qs and in the NQ, and that's where I've been focused for most of the day. I've also been looking at Microsoft, at Meta, at Tesla. Those we're gonna go over at boot camp, sort of how to go through and reevaluate the levels that we set up the night before and figure out how to trade those based on the current day's price activity. I think that'll be a great exercise for everybody who's going to be with us in Miami. So with that said, let's take a look at the charts and see what we've been doing today and then what the strategy is going into the closing bell. So here you have it. This has been pretty much what I've expected to see over the course of the day. And you can see here that on this big move, we had a nice fib retracement back up into the 367.04 pivot. So 7.04 was a pivot line, and that level overlapped with this 2SD deviation here, right? The fib level, the volume by price thresholds, everything was lined up right there. And actually there should be another support and resistance line drawn right through that 6704 line there. That's all been pretty much the way that I've been setting these up over the course of the session, is when we get a move that gets us into, you know, one of these heavy overlaps of anchored VWAPs, you know, 2SD deviations, all that stuff tells you you've got a pretty good opportunity for profit. So the next one that came up was on this move lower here that came back up into this anchored volume weighted average price, and you know, also gave us the opportunity for a little scalp from this measure of central tendency. The big picture today, though, was you have to focus on how big of a move it is that you're looking for, and whether you're going to try to pull it off in the triple Qs or in the NQ. So in the NQ, you know, this represents a nice little scalp on, you know, a few contracts. On the triple Qs, it's really pretty tight to try to pull anything out of this move here. So it's really better to wait for the bigger picture retracements, right? And when price got back up into 367.04 and then came down to 365.16, we did have the opportunity for a nice profit in the equity or in the ETF, and that was really where we had the attention focused at that point. So, you know, going through the rest of the day, if you have to trade and you want to trade, then I would focus on, you know, these kind of moves and ask yourself, you know, what is it that you're looking for? How big of a swing and reaction are you going to be targeting? So are we looking now for this to come down to this 364.15 line? And if we are, right, where's our stop going to be? You're going to have a logical stop on all of these things, and it's much easier to set that stop when you're looking for a move that gets you up into something like this, right, where you have a logical overhead threshold that you can use to stop out. And in that case, right, your stop's about you know, a 50-cent move on the QQQ, and versus are you gonna go and try to scalp this thing on the NQs, in which case, you know, you really need to wait for the things that have a wider range, because you're probably going to have a little bit of a slip on your entry and your exit, and it's definitely much easier to rack up losses, right, when you're trying to scalp very small ranges like this one and have to set your stops much higher because of where they're, you know, logically going to be placed, so that the travel range back to your stop winds up being more than the travel range to your target, and that's always a recipe for some stress. All right, so that is what I'm looking at for the rest of the day. I'm just going to keep on this. I'm going to redraw these you know, these fib lines so that we've got the next leg is going to be from here to here, and then we'll look for retracements in that area and see if we don't get a 50% or a 618 or something that lines up with this big volume by price threshold. If we do, that's going to give us a good opportunity for an entry. All right, so I will see a bunch of you, hopefully, at boot camp. And for those who I'm not going to see, then hopefully we'll catch you at the next one. But hang in there, and like I said, stay out of the way of the train. Just try to focus on when there's a nice trend in place and there's no big news breaking. Can you go and capitalize on what's happening? And if you're uncomfortable about any of it, just stay away. And there's plenty of time to come back next week and see if the markets settle in a little bit. All right, have a great weekend.